Hey, the idea for this video is I'm going to propose 5 perspectives to you. Perspectives, reasonings, call it what you want, as to why you shouldn't necessarily care about what other people think or not fear them judging you. And no, I'm not going to tell you about the crappy, all of us are going to be dead in 100 years, so it's not going to matter. Nobody that's alive now will be alive then. No one will be able to remember what you did or what you said and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure we've all heard this an insane amount of times. And what I'm even more convinced about is the fact that it just does not provide any value because it focuses on the future. To an extent, yes, I understand. To an extent, yes, I understand, but I'm spitting balls. I get the idea of it, but at the same time, most of us, including you, are worried about what people will think about us now. I can even go as far as to say as the present is more relevant than the future, because in the future, assuming that whatever it is that you want to pursue works out, you will not care about what other people think because you'll have evidence to back up what you've been preaching and chasing this whole time. People may doubt you and tell you that you're wrong, but you can literally show them that you've succeeded, that you've made it out. So it won't affect you as much. The issue lies in the current moment, because right now is the moment where me and you are the most vulnerable to other people's opinions. It is the moment where we're still losing and learning, improving and improvising, growing and adapting. It is this moment where we are about to start, or have started off, that is the most important for us to stabilize ourselves and not care about what other people think. Which is why the 5 perspectives that I'm going to provide will be in regards to the current situation and hopefully help you to realize why you shouldn't care about what other people think as of right now. So without any further yapping, let's get into it. The first perspective is that you are always being judged. One way to think about things is the fact that you are already and always being judged no matter what. Let's take beliefs, right? You will always be judged to an extent in regards to your beliefs. For example, some atheists may look at you as a delusional lunatic who worships someone who they've never even seen before in their life. Similarly, if you're an atheist, some religious people may look upon you with disapproval and disagreement. Another thing that you will constantly be judged upon is your choices. For example, let's say you chose to go into university. People who willingly chose not to go into further education will look upon you and think, what a fool. He just put himself in so much debt, in tens of thousands of pounds or dollars of debt. He's drowning in debt. What is he doing? Similarly, on the other hand, those people who did go into further education, looking upon people who, by their own choice, decided not to pursue further education, will look at them and think, what a fool. This person willingly decided not to have the opportunity for a well-paid and more respected job compared to those who will go into further education. I think you get the idea by now, right? So to sum up the first perspective, if you're already being judged on a ton of things, does it really matter if you get judged for one more? Perspectives number 2 and 3. The reasons as to why people judge you. Now these 2 perspectives basically revolve around explaining to you why people may judge you if they do judge you. And there are 2 main reasons. Perspective number 2 is lack of knowledge and misunderstanding. A lot of judgment can come from people because they are not fully informed and educated on the topic that you revolve yourself around, right? They can also be misunderstanding the actions and the belief that people have. I'll provide one example. Whether it's the best, I don't know. In my head it makes sense. Let's say, for example, you're walking on the street and you see a person giving like shopping bags full of food and water and whatever else to a homeless person, or you see them giving them a lot of money, like cash. And then you also see that they're recording the whole thing, right? Let's say they have a whole ass operator, like a whole ass other person with like professional camera and everything. Maybe they even have one of those like microphone sticks, whatever. And you might think to yourself, what are they doing? They seem like they're helping people, but they're only just doing it for attention and social media. When in reality, what the real case may be is they might be spreading awareness about homelessness. Could be doing it for some sort of charity or whatever it is that they're doing. They're doing it with a pure and morally correct intent. And they simply need evidence of that to support whatever they're doing, right? They're not doing it in a selfish way to gain attention on social media. So to sum up the whole thing, my point is, people may falsely assume the things that you do or believe in. They can connect the dots where they do not exist, as one of my friends says. And they just don't have the full picture of what is happening. Perspective 3, on the other hand, is the reason that people judge you is some of them are genuinely just bad people who want nothing but hatred and negativity spread in the world. But most of these people, they're just miserable people. You see, the problem is a lot of people, they acknowledge the fact that they are too lazy and they're too afraid to step out of their comfort zone and go and achieve bigger things, go and strive and grow and learn and become successful. And what keeps these people sane and comfortable with being comfortable and staying an average person or below average is the fact that they surround themselves with similar like-minded individuals who gave up on chasing their dreams, they gave up on being a bigger person, making a difference in the world. They just gave up on everything and decided that it's too scary, I can't be bothered, I'm too scared, I'm too afraid, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to stay where I am. And if they stay where they are with a bunch of people around them who are just like they are, it doesn't feel so odd after all, does it? You're going to feel happy, comfortable, because there's like-minded individuals who have the same beliefs, same morals, principles, behaviors, habits. And so what do you think happens to these people when they see that people around them slowly, one by one, are trying to push their boundaries and push their limits and get out of that misery pit where that person is? They're going to feel uncomfortable, right? Why would they feel uncomfortable? Because they can see that others around them are trying to escape the same comfortable space that they've like locked themselves in, right? Like the cage that they put on themselves mentally. Why does that make them uncomfortable? Well, because the only thing that these people have to justify for not being successful and not becoming a better version of themselves is their laziness and that they're afraid of making a change and stepping outside their comfort zone. So if they see other people doing that, if they see other people face the same difficulties, some people are also lazy, most people are also scared to step out of the comfort zone. I don't know why I say most, like it's not all people. I don't think there's a single person. Anyway, so when they see these people stomp over the excuses that they have to not make a change and not get out there and become a better person, they have nothing else to justify themselves with, and obviously in the return they feel uncomfortable with themselves, and they don't want that. Therefore, these people will do anything in their power, and I'm telling you anything, genuinely anything, to hold on to you and pull you back into the pit where they are sitting to make sure that they feel comfortable for their own sake. And so please, the next time that you get judged, whether it's a comment on the internet by a stranger or a stranger approaches you in real life and expresses their thoughts, remember, the main two reasons as to why these people might act the way they do is either because they're not well informed and they don't have the full picture of what you're doing and you're pursuing, or they're just miserable and they are not comfortable with the fact that other people can be not miserable, happy. They're not comfortable with the thought of other people being happy while they're miserable and suffer down there in the pit. And so they will do anything in their power to bring you back to that same level where they are. The second you start trying to go up, they'll pull back on you. Whether it's, yeah, but I've seen most people fail, it doesn't really work out. Yeah, but I mean, you're from a small city, from a small town, from a small village. How are you planning to make it out? I mean, yeah, but think about your age. You're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. It's too late for you to start. All these things, and it's never too late to start, by the way. All these things that they will say to you, don't listen to them, because they're only projecting their insecurities onto you. Just because they couldn't make it doesn't mean that you can't. Perspective number 4. For every X, there is a Y. Now, what I mean by this is, for every bunch of people who criticize you, judge you, and question what you're doing, and look at you with pure confusion, there will always be a bunch of people who will look at you with admiration in their eyes. I mean, just think about it for a second. There are 9-10 billion people in the world, right? And look, I'm not going to be vague right now. I know that this ranges from babies, toddlers, kids, and then elderly people. But here's the crazy thing, right? Hear me out. If you cut out all the other age groups, all the elderly, the babies, everyone, besides young adults and teenagers, are you ready for this? There is still 1 billion of us. 1 billion. I don't know why I did that like that. magnifies the number. That just makes it smaller. But a billion, 1,000 million people. Let's say half of those people do not have access to the internet, right? Okay. 500 million people of our age have access to the internet, and they can stumble across your content online. So just thinking about those numbers, isn't it crazy to assume that not a single person will be out there in the world who will think and believe and act in a similar way to you and support whatever it is that you do? And last but not least, perspective number 5. Every single person is extremely, if you didn't catch that, self-centered. Every single worry that you have about yourself is identical to everyone else worrying about them. Now, they might not have the same worries and the same insecurities, but the principle stays the same. For example, if you go outside and you're in a crowded place and you're constantly worrying about that little pimple that you have, I think I have a pimple here, and you're constantly worried about that pimple, the spot you have on your face, and guess what? Everyone else around you is basically the same. They're all in their head thinking about the freckles, the spots, the wrinkles, wherever else it may be, right? And so, in the same way that you may be worried about what others will think of you, others also overthink what you will think of them, right? If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Which means that to a certain extent, no one cares about you or what you do besides you, right? And that's not to put it in a bad way. All it means is that nobody cares about what you do, meaning that you can do whatever you want to a reasonable, morally correct extent. And no one will judge you. And if they do, remember what I said. They're either not well informed, they don't have the full picture, or they are simply miserable people. That's nice. This brings us to the end of the video. I really hope that you've gained at least one new perspective on the topic. And I hope that that alone is enough to push you a step closer to getting over your fear of judgment. And if you guys can think of anything else, any other reason, perspective, whatever you want to call it, that can help people to get over their fear of judgment and of what others will think, please put them down in the comments below, because you never know. You single-handedly could be the reason that someone decides to say, you know what, it is what it is, I don't care. Step over their fears and pursue their dreams. I'm going to end this video with a quote that this person says pretty much in 90% of his videos. And I don't think it can be articulated in any shape, way or form better than it already is. It's not easy, but it is simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You got it, bro.